My parents are planning to divorce. They're fighting over custody of my little brother. But when it comes to me, neither of them wants me. In my previous life, to avoid making things hard for them, I chose to go with my abusive dad. That ended with my stepmom, and him beating me to death. The only one who loved me, my grandma, arrived just to find a cold body. This time, I didn't choose anyone. I took the $30,000 they gave me, and headed back to my grandma's house in the town. Before I left, my brother sat in mom's fancy car, mocking me. Even if they don't love you, sticking with them is better than living a tough life in the countryside. Don't come looking for me later. All the family money is mine. I'm not jealous of him. If my timing is right, their company will go bankrupt soon. And grandma's house is up for demolition too. When I woke up, the arguing was still going. Mom was yelling, "Mike, I don't care what you say. Today I'm taking the baby." Another angry voice chimed in from the side. "Why do you think you can take him? He's my son too, with my blood. If anyone's taking him, it's me. What right do you have?" Their arguing got worse, and it seemed like a fight might break out. Inside it was constant arguing, but outside it was quiet. The one they're fighting over was sitting right next to me, playfully pulling my hair like it was a toy. "Hey Lily, can you hear them? They're fighting for custody of me. You're so pathetic, nobody wants you. Why are you even alive? If I were you, I'd just give up, since nobody loves you." The pain in my scalp made it all too real. I couldn't believe it as I looked at my hands. No scars, no cracks, just calluses from chores. I've really come back to life. Reborn to my parents' divorce day, survived the beatings. John got mad when I didn't react, just staring at my hands. In the family, he's like an emperor. The emperor speaks, and lowly me didn't respond. He grabbed my hair and yanked it hard. "Didn't you hear me? This family has no place for you. Mom and Dad won't take you. I'm sticking with Mom and living the good life while you pick trash and become a beggar. Consider yourself warned. For being my sister, kneel now and beg me. Maybe Dad will let you stay. Now kneel." I snapped back to reality. Even in this new life, my brother is still cruel. Since we were kids, he'd act weak and innocent in front of Mom and Dad, but bully me mercilessly. Anyone could see my place in the family, so he never saw me as a sister, just a punching bag. But not this time, he won't be that lucky. A loud, high-pitched shout cut through the house. Mom and Dad stopped arguing, coming out to see me, their eyes showing hints of disgust. "Why are you yelling?" With tears in my eyes, I looked up. "Dad, Mom, is it true you only want him and not me?" Their faces stiffened for a moment. Mom quickly collected her emotions. "Of course not. We wouldn't do that. We just can't afford to take both of you. John, Lily, you guys decide. Do you want to stay with Dad or Mom?" As soon as she finished, John rushed up to them, being all cutesy. No, I want both Mom and Dad. I can't bear to be separated from you." While saying that, he wiggled his way into their arms. My parents ate it up. Watching their little family moment, my stomach churned. If they're so unwilling, why get a divorce? Last time, they did the same thing. Gave the illusion of choice while really just fighting over John. Nobody cared about me. John ended up choosing Mom. He was smart, knowing Mom controlled the company, and could afford his fancy school fees even after the divorce. Same deal this time. They're fighting red-faced over John, but ignoring me entirely. Nobody even asked me. I slammed the glass bowl on the table and started bawling. "It's not fair. You only want my brother, not me. You want to dump me, right? Well, I'm going wherever my brother goes." That made Mom nervous. "Lily, you have to understand, I'm just a woman. How can I take care of 2 kids? And you're the older sister. You should always put him first. Don't be stubborn now, be a good girl." She pushed me towards Dad, clearly hoping I'd volunteer to go with him. Last time, I did just that. And what happened? Dad married a stepmom, and both were gamblers who'd take their anger out on me. Hitting me was just regular. Once they poured boiling water on me, burning me so badly I couldn't even crawl from the pain. They filmed it, sold it online for money. I was literally tortured to death by them. Dad snorted, shoving me hard. "Get out of here. Useless girl. I'm not pretending like your mom. You want to come with me? Fine. But don't expect a happy life." Pushed down, my hand caught the glass shards, and a line of blood welled up from my wrist. But the three of them seemed blind to it all. Mom wept, recounting how tough life has been. Dad sneered, saying the son has to stay to carry on the family line. John flaunted around, pleased as punch, pretending to be peacemaker. It was like they were rehearsing a play. I caught his smug look as if saying, see? They only want me. You're just a stray nobody loves. I looked down chuckling. So what if I'm a stray? Who'll be the real stray with no home later, I wonder? Stop fighting, you guys. I cut in on their argument, trying to look angry and upset. Since none of you want me, I might as well go find Grandma. She'll never treat me like this. She definitely won't mind having me around. Right after I said that, they weirdly stopped arguing. Are you sure? I wasn't imagining it. Mom's eyes lit up with a bit of joy. Once they got a firm yes from me, Mom quickly pulled out $3,000 from her bag and pretended to be all concerned. Lily, your grandma lives in a small town. It's not great living there, and the schools aren't that good either. Your grades aren't great. Are you sure you want to go? No way am I staying with you guys. I shouted and ran off with the money. Geez, look at this kid. Without me around, they wrapped up dividing their stuff and finalized the divorce papers in no time. As they were leaving, my brother was sitting in Mom's fancy car and saw me standing there with a beat-up suitcase. He sneered, Lily, are you out of your mind? Even if Mom and Dad don't love you, staying with them is better than living in the sticks. Don't come crying to me later. Mom and Dad's love is mine, and so is all the money. Sure. And the bankruptcy debt is all yours too. When his helper was still upstairs moving stuff, I gestured to him. Hey bro, come over here. I got a secret to share. When he hesitantly came over, I quickly kicked him where it hurts the most. At that moment, he couldn't even make a sound, just groaned softly from the pain. Watching him in agony, I said, Bro, enjoy the good life while you can. I leaned in close to his ear, whispering each word slowly. Just you wait. Your karma is coming. Grandma lives in a small town. I took a bus from the city to the last stop, then rode another to the town, and finally flagged down a shabby motorcycle to get to Grandma's. Walking down the street, I saw peddlers selling sweet snacks, cobblers working away, and elderly folks gently fanning themselves on wicker chairs. From the old street to my grandma's, the bustling life made my heart ache. Standing in front of the rusty iron gate, everything felt surreal. Back then, Grandma and Grandpa didn't approve of Mom marrying Dad. They worked hard their whole lives, building their small chain of stores into a business, and handed it to their daughter, hoping she'd marry someone reliable and live a stable life. But my dad? He was just a goof-off, a free spirit. After they disapproved, Mom up and left with everything they had, eloping with Dad. They told everyone they bought a villa for the grandparents to quiet down any gossip. But it wasn't a villa. It was just a country house. Granddad, stripped of everything, was so upset he passed away a few months later. After he died, Grandma fell ill. As a kid, I would sneak out to visit Grandma, accused by my brother, yelled at by my mom, slapped by Dad. I only felt at ease with Grandma. She didn't like Lily and gave me a nickname. She'd gently stroke my forehead, wiping away my tears. Grandma isn't strong enough to control your mom, or help you. But Sunny is a lucky girl. You'll grow up happy and healthy. In my past life, facing death, all I could think was, how will Grandma cope without me? I gently pushed open the gate, and a familiar warmth washed over me. Tears blurred my sight. Grandma? Grandma? Oh, the door opened, and a little old lady, aged over 50, stood behind the beaded curtain. Her face was lined with the years, but she was the one I missed day and night. Seeing me, she was briefly stunned, then tears formed as she stepped shakily forward. You finally came back. Grandma's been waiting so long. Grandma held my hand, asking how I've been. I told her everything they'd done to me. Grandma, life's terrible. I almost died. Don't say that word. She covered my mouth, not letting me continue, surrounded by a deep sorrow, her eyes unfocused. I couldn't help but comfort her. Grandma, I'm okay. Whatever came to her mind, her gaze suddenly sharpened. No, it's Grandma's fault. Your mom favors your brother. I thought she'd change. Didn't imagine they wouldn't take you even after divorcing. If they don't want you, it's because they're blind. If anyone bullies you from now on, Grandma'll fight them off. First thing Grandma did was take me to the station to change my name. Grandma's not that educated. You choose a name you like, okay? I shook my head, holding her hand tight, whispering, Grandma, let's go with Sunny. I want your last name. Sunny. Sunny. Grandma repeated it several times, getting more emotional with each saying. Good, good, from now on you're Sunny. I got a new ID card. It felt light in my hand but brought me so much joy. When I was young, my brother and I were in the same class. Every time the teacher saw our names on the roll call, I'd get weird looks. Eventually I knew why, and insisted on a name change. Dad slapped me hard, yelling in my face, insults rained down. Change your name? Like I'll let you. You're competing with your brother? Look at yourself. Always scheming. You're not family. We feed and clothe you. You should be grateful, you little ingrate, daring to ask. Your brother's the heir of our family. Blame yourself. That slap stayed with me for years. I got there just in time for summer break. No chores. No waking up at 6 to make breakfast. Grandma said I should enjoy the break. First time I slept until noon with someone bringing breakfast to the bed. The neighbor lady joked, Grandma, you can't spoil her. The food won't walk off if left on the table. Grandma laughed heartily and said, My only granddaughter, why spoil her? Kids are meant to be spoiled. If she asks for the stars, I'd pluck them from the sky for her. Look at how comforting those words are. When I'm hungry, I just lie in bed and shout, Grandma, food. Delicious and healthy organic veggies from the farm are served right to my mouth. When I'm thirsty, I wave my hand, Grandma, water. A drink made from natural well water and watermelon juice is handed to me. In just a month, I gained 20 pounds. Grandma happily pinched the extra fat around my waist after a meal. A little chubby is good. When you first came, you were as skinny as a stick. It scared me to death. I know Grandma truly cares for me. She makes braised pork, buttery shrimp, and potato ribs. I don't even like greasy food, but I'd eat it just to see her wrinkled eyes soften. Eat more, it's good for you, she'd say. Not long after, Mom remarried, bringing John along to marry a foreign guy. John posted photos in a group chat, showing off the fancy toys, branded watches, and all kinds of gaming devices his stepdad bought him. They were piled up like a small mountain. He seemed afraid I didn't know about his life, so he messaged me privately. With an arrogant tone he wrote, Lily, these are all gifts from Mom and my new dad. Are you jealous? Haha, it won't do you any good. Remember when I asked you to beg me? You refused. Now even if you want to, I wouldn't give you the chance. I sent him a photo of a pigsty. He replied, what's that supposed to mean? Are you showing me how miserable you are? I circled the ugliest, fattest pig with a red pen and wrote, this is you. Then I circled the sow next to it. This is your mom. And another pig with a black and white pattern. This is your dad. A nice neat family, how wonderful. John lost it immediately and called, Lily. I didn't have the patience to keep listening. I put the phone near the pigsty. It was lunchtime, and the pigs were eating. Their grunting interrupted John's cursing. Go ahead, curse all you want. Animals should argue with pigs. Before school started, Grandma reached out to the principal of School 12 through someone she knew. School 12 is a local town school. It might not compare to city schools, but it's the best around here. Most of the kids live in the village. They're simple and kind. Even though I transferred in, they welcomed me warmly. Sunny, we hear you're from a big city. What's it like there? I haven't been to a city yet. Is your previous school one of those tall buildings? I've seen them on TV. They say city schools have screens between blackboards where you can write annotations. Is Starbucks really expensive? I explained. Here are some photos I took before. You can take a look. That's a nano blackboard you write on. Starbucks is a bit pricey. I didn't drink it often. But as long as everyone studies hard, you can go to a big city for college. Suddenly someone scoffed dismissively. Of course, you're from the city, so you're confident. Do you know what our school's college admission rate is? He showed a finger excitedly. 5%. Do you know what 5% means? In our class of 40, maybe only 2 of us will make it to college. What's the use of studying? We're not going to make it to college anyway. The buzz of discussion fell silent. It was as if everyone suddenly went mute. I felt a pang in my heart. Here's another tough nut. So why are you still in school? Why not help your parents on the farm? Everyone laughed. The guy turned red, stubbornly saying, I want to study. What's it to you? So if I want to study, what's it to you? I pushed my phone forward, pointing at my grade rankings. This was my freshman score sheet. Just over 400, ranked 2000 in school. I showed them another paper. Here are last semester's scores, 538, above the first tier cutoff. Whether you believe it or not, my true potential is beyond this. I'm not saying this for any other reason. I just want to show you that if you're willing to work hard, you can earn your opportunities. If you don't strive, fight, resist, you'll never move forward or reach your goals. The boy stopped talking. I sighed. Do you really want to end up as a farmer or working on construction like your family? I showed those reports on purpose. I've always known that no matter what, I'd never outshine John in our parents' eyes. To them, boys are just inherently better than girls. Even if I get good grades, they'd just say, boys develop late but pack a punch. You only happen to score better than your brother by luck. He'll definitely surpass you one day. John was clearly jealous, but pretended not to care. What's the big deal? Lucky shot is all. But the next morning, I found a dead rat in my desk. Since then I've learned to control my scores. If John did poorly, so did I. If he did well, I matched him. My scores were always just below his, and everyone at home was satisfied. Finally breaking the silence, a girl standing beside me said quietly but firmly, I don't want to stay here forever. I don't want to herd cattle sheep anymore. Me neither, another said. Same here. Seeing their bright eyes, I saw a glimpse of my own resilient younger self. Since my rebirth, I've no longer believed in fate. Destiny is something to be broken. I whispered, so just focus on studying. In my past life, I couldn't change my fate. I didn't even take the college entrance exam, and was forced to drop out of school, ending up dying full of regret. Given another chance, I don't want the same tragedy to happen again. So I sincerely hope they can create their own miracles. A week after school started, my homeroom teacher called me into the office. When I entered, other teachers from his class were snacking on sunflower seeds. With a kind smile, she asked Sunny, how are you adjusting? I nodded. Pretty good, teacher. But I have a question. What's your question? I was a bit puzzled and asked, aren't there any weekly tests this week? Weekly tests? The teachers stopped what they were doing, and all looked at me, as if I'd said something strange. The homeroom teacher was caught off guard, then laughed. Our school doesn't have weekly tests, just monthly exams. What about quizzes? None. What about regional exams? Provincial or citywide tests? Surely the school participates in those. A teacher grading papers behind her glanced at me and chuckled. Are you dreaming? We're just an ordinary town high school. You want to participate and join exams? Not to be harsh, but that's asking for defeat. There was a tone implying I shouldn't think too highly of myself. Don't think you're high and mighty just because you're from the city. There are plenty more excellent people than you. If you were truly outstanding, you wouldn't be here in a school like ours, right? Hey teacher, that's not the way to say it. The homeroom teacher sighed and earnestly said to me, kid, I've seen your previous grades. They're very good, a top student. I hope you keep it up. Having ambition is good, but our school might not be as good as your old one. Hopefully you'll adapt soon. As I left the office, a guy in a school uniform brushed past me, his cool yet youthful face briefly in view. Then he said in a light voice, teacher, I'm done with the test papers. Yeah, just leave them there. It was the same teacher who had mocked me earlier. She raised her voice in praise, well done, Ken. I said guys are usually smarter. At this rate, getting into a 985 is no problem. I frowned slightly, then hastened my pace. The annoying voices faded behind me, but my mind kept echoing the homeroom teacher's words. The school didn't participate in joint exams. How will I know the gap between me and other top students? Seems like I need a different plan. Since the school is close to home, I didn't opt for dorm life. I don't know why, but since this morning, my heart's been racing like something big's about to go down. Approaching the house, I spotted an Audi parked by the gate. I immediately recognized it. It's Mom's car. Grandma. But it wasn't Grandma waiting for me, it was Mom. She looked quite well off, sporting a designer bag, perfect makeup, with gold necklaces and earrings on display. Seeing me, she stood up, smiling warmly. Wow, my darling daughter's back. Come in. Must have been a tiring day studying. The way she talked gave me goosebumps. God, she called me darling. Yuck. I dodged her touch swiftly, tossed my backpack between us, and asked with a tilted head, "Why are you here?" Seeing me pull away, her expression briefly darkened before she retorted, "Why can't I be here? You and Grandma seem to be doing well, not even telling me about the impending redevelopment. You've been planning behind my back, huh? Redevelopment?" I grabbed onto that keyword. Has the development notice arrived? Grandma slowly came out of the living room, smiling when she saw me, but immediately turning serious upon seeing Mom. "Why are you still here? I told you, I won't give you this house." "Why not? I'm your daughter. The house should partly be mine." Mom stepped closer, her face twisted with anger. Suddenly, she seemed to remember something, turned, and shook my shoulder urgently. "Lily, convince Grandma to give the house to me. The house is about to get redeveloped. It'll be worth at least 50 grand, maybe 100 grand. We can't leave all that money with Grandma alone. You let Grandma give it to us, Mom will keep it safe, then I'll take you home, okay?" I looked at her coldly, knowing exactly what she was thinking. "What are you going to do with the redevelopment money?" "Of course, it's to buy your brother a house. He's a guy, he can't be without a house. Once the house is bought, we'll save a room for you too," Mom said confidently. "That way, when you get married, you'll have something to back you up." I knew she was selfish, but damn, didn't expect it to be this bad. Even though I was prepared, it still hit hard. Accepting that she didn't love me is tougher than anything. Suddenly, I remembered the past when Dad beat me up. Taking advantage of their vacation, I stumbled to Mom's new place and rang the doorbell. She opened it. Her eyes were full of disdain and disgust, saying, "Where did you come from?" "Mom." I shakily got up from the ground, wanting to ask her to help with my wounds. But she slammed the door shut with a loud bang. Her angry voice came from the other side. "Since you picked your dad, don't come looking for me. Don't call me Mom anymore. I'm not your mom." My wounds festered. I squatted on the ground, blankly staring at her new place's windows, confused why even Mom didn't love me anymore. But now I figured it out. From the start, her affection hinged on what benefits she could rake in for my brother. Once I wasn't useful, she'd ditch me in a heartbeat. She hid it better than Dad. I shot her a determined look, resolutely shaking off her hand. "You've got it wrong. I'm siding with Grandma." Mom glared at me furiously. "So all your smarts go down the drain? You can't even help your own brother. Tiny heart, can't even recognize your mom when you grow up." I scoffed. "You used to ignore it when John bullied me. He took my stuff, stole my money, and you knew it but acted like nothing happened. Every time I asked you for help, you told me I'm the big sister and should give in to my brother. Fine, I let him be, but who's going to stand up for me? Now why do you expect me to help you and him? You're being way too biased." Mom got mad and embarrassed. "You're a girl. What's wrong with a girl going through a bit of hardship?" Grandma had been listening for a while and finally couldn't hold back. She scoffed and loudly replied, "What about being a girl? Aren't you a woman? Am I not a woman? I gave birth to you and raised you, took care of you selflessly, and you don't even know as much as a kid. Your son, when he was young, blew up all the neighbors' chickens, and when caught, he blamed it on his sister and lied. In second grade, he was caught stealing money, pulled his sister down with him, and got her called a thief by schoolmates. In middle school, he got into puppy love, and you were called in, the whole world knowing your son was dating a classmate. I worry for you. All this fuss over a house. You can handle a bit of hardship and grievance, right? Grandma, you're amazing. I was starstruck. That was so cool. I admire you so much. Defeating magic with magic. How couldn't I think of that tactic?" Mom couldn't bear to hear about John's middle school dating history, and was so furious she was trembling and scolded both me and Grandma. "You're all losing your minds. Saying whatever you want. Are you planning to leave nothing for your grandson?" Grandma chuckled disdainfully. "Why would I? This lifetime, I only recognize one granddaughter." Mom stormed off in anger. I rushed over to Grandma's side, hugged her tightly, almost in tears. Grandma gently patted my back, still riled up. "Don't be scared, Grandma's got your back." She handed me a document, and asked me to sign the last page. I signed it obediently. She smiled, satisfied, and whispered, "Sonny, this is Grandma's blessing for you. You're going to be well off in the future." Huh. I looked confused at Grandma, who cheerfully put away the document, saying, "Our house's demolition will amount to this." She showed me a number. I swallowed hard. 3 million? 30 million. I almost fell out of my chair in shock, and quickly checked the contract again to count the zeros. "Grandma, we're rich." For the next few days, I kept getting messages from Mom. Initially, they were pleas, but I ignored them, so then they turned into curses. Funny how she sent me more messages in these few days than in all those years combined. John, a total jerk, seems to think I'm still that pushover sister, issuing commands like, "Make Grandma give me the house, and I'll let Mom take you back." He's delusional, thinking he's some mighty CEO or something. I got fed up and blocked them both. I thought they'd quit, but half a month later, I saw John at my school. The homeroom teacher introduced him as a transfer student from the prestigious 7th High. The class buzzed with shock. 7th High, the school with the highest college acceptance rate, sending dozens each year to the best universities? Why would someone from 7th High transfer here? Is he wearing designer brands? Looks so cool. John strutted to the front and, under everyone's admiring eyes, wrote his English name on the board. "Call me John." He was so full of himself, he didn't notice the change in everyone's expressions. My seatmate quietly asked, "Is this normal for city people?" I stifled my laughter and said, "Usually, only jocks act like this, but he's not a jock, he's just delusional." My seatmate nodded knowingly and wrote delusional in his notebook. The class flew by as usual. John, unchanged, swaggered over, perched on my desk, and mimed shooting hoops. I frowned. "Why are you at our school?" Grinning, he replied, "You and that old lady won't hand over the house. Guess I have to take matters into my own hands." He casually flipped through my notes on the desk, clicking his tongue in mock admiration. "Wow, Lily, seems like you've gotten comfy living in the boonies." Hearing this name 2 days in a row was driving me nuts. I snapped, "Can't you read? My name's Sonny." Just then I noticed his rear smack on my homework. I fumed. "Move." "Oh." He smirked. "Someone's got a temper now." Enjoying the attention, he fake coughed, then raised his voice. "Why can't I call you Lily? Lily, Lily." Thinking I'm some pushover is one thing, but presuming I'm a docile kitten? I grabbed the compass off my desk and jabbed it hard into his backside. "Ah!" John hollered, jumping off the desk like he'd seen a ghost. Someone enjoying the show asked me, "Sonny, why does he call you Lily? Do you guys know each other?" Before I could answer, John, clutching his backside, retorted through gritted teeth, "You guys don't know? She's my sister. Probably didn't tell you because at home she's lower than a dog. Our parents dislike her. She was unpopular in school too, always chasing boys, playing the sycophant. Her grades were bad, and she cheated in exams." While John rambled, I knew he was spinning another web of lies. After all these years, that's all he's got. Doesn't he know it only works on Mom and Dad? My desk mate lost her cool, slammed the desk, and stood up fiercely. "Bull crap. Once I barely touched her, and she screamed bloody murder. You think someone like that chases boys? If she doesn't wring a guy's neck, it's a miracle." Others chimed in, "Yeah, teaching me math. She nearly killed me when I didn't get it. Every day when she woke. Let's get started with some school drama. If she's considered a poor student, then this school has no smart kids. Are you saying your family treats her badly?" One girl got all worked up. "Gender favoritism, and you dare to speak up? I can't stand people like you who get all the benefits and still act innocent. Ugh. You mama's boy loser." John probably never faced such humiliation in his life. He was shaking, and for a second, his face looked a bit like his dad's. It freaked me out a little. What now? I was fuming, ready to knock him out. "She's the worst in our class, I'm telling you." John yelled, "She's always ranked below me. Don't let her fool you." My desk mate mocked him. "Oh really? We have eyes. We know Sonny's grades. Way better than a loudmouth like you." Right then, our homeroom teacher walked in. "What are you all huddled up for?" She stepped onto the podium, grinning with a piece of paper in hand. "The monthly exam results are out." Hearing this, John perked up. "Haha, just wait and see, she's been lying to you all." The teacher announced with great enthusiasm. Congratulations to Sunny for ranking first in our grade with 678 points, breaking the school's record since its establishment. Let's give her a hand. The applause was deafening. People started cheering and screaming, especially my desk mate, who was clapping like crazy, face glowing like a baboon's butt. Desk buddy, you're amazing. You're my new goddess. Absolutely awesome, for getting 678. I can't even dream of it. John turned pale in disbelief. No way. You must have cheated. Seeing his face like he just ate something gross, I was secretly thrilled. Honestly, I don't like the spotlight much, but sometimes it's fun to show off in front of people you can't stand. Although the test wasn't as challenging as my old school, it was the first time I really showcased what I could do. It felt so good not to be just a stepping stone for this loser anymore. The teacher looked at me differently now, full of admiration. My results caught the school leader's attention, and they immediately decided to put me in the math competition class. Turns out, even a small school like this one has competition spots, though no one from here had ever gotten into a top university before. There was a special competition class, only for 2 students, me and Ken from class 8. I recalled him, the guy I passed by once in the office. The second time I saw Ken, the only thing I thought was how pale he was. White like some rare stone or something. He noticed me staring and frowned a bit. Sunny, focus on the test. Snapping back to reality, I turned my attention to the paper. To test our skills, the competition teacher gave us both an exam. I hadn't done competitive math before, but I did okay thanks to some lucky guesses and a good foundation. Unsurprisingly, Ken was really strong at this stuff. I started training for competitions early, he said, noting my curiosity. My scores aren't high enough otherwise, it's my only way. Before you came, I was the only one in this class. The competition teacher nodded in agreement. Sunny, you're a little late to the game. The questions are tough and girls often struggle with this style. Understand if you can, if not, it's fine. This sounded familiar. Back when relatives visited, they'd praise my brother to the skies and just give me a polite smile. Girls don't need to be as smart. If they can't understand, it's okay. Just marry well. They fear letting women have too much education or see too much of the world, afraid they'll become independent thinkers. Like women are just extras waiting to be picked. Well, I won't stand for gender bias. I took a deep breath and said firmly, Teacher, I have both the ability and confidence to catch up quickly. I hope to engage in thoughtful exchanges, not start from scratch. Please don't slow down for me. Ken and I are equals. Oh, I see, said the teacher, a bit awkward. Then she apologized. I'm sorry, that was out of line. Let's move on to the next chapter. The class lasted 2 hours, and when the evening bell rang, I realized it was already 10:30 p.m. As I was about to leave, Ken stopped me. What you said was good, he said quietly. Feel free to ask me for help in class 8 if needed. His eyes sparkled as he added, You did more than half right. For someone new to this, you have talent. But, he changed his tone, time's tight. Competitions are in November. You've got maybe 2 months. I smiled, waved him off, and strode out confidently. No worries, I'm never afraid of a challenge. On the weekend, John followed me around like a lost puppy. He was puffing on a cigarette, like he owned the place. I'll walk where I want. You think you control the path? Choosing between yelling and silence, I silently cursed him in my head. John knew some taekwondo. If things got physical, I'd lose. Plus, he suddenly transferred from a fancy school to our plain one. Must be Mom's doing. I had to understand their game. Grandma, I'm back. Right before the door, John shamelessly echoed me. Grandma, I'm back too. He shoved me aside and rushed through the door, looking all smug, just like old times. Grandma was feeding the chickens, and heard 2 voices calling out to her. She stood up puzzled and saw me and John at the door. She pointed at him and said, Aren't you that? John thought she remembered him, and looked at her eagerly. Yeah, that's me, he said. But Grandma just had a revelation and said confidently, Oh, you're the neighbor's grandson, right? Oh wow. Long time no see. What happened to you? You've gotten so chubby. You're as big as those wild boars from the hills. What kind of feed are you on? I couldn't help but burst out laughing. John's face turned ashen, and he awkwardly mumbled, Grandma, I'm your grandson. Oh. She smacked her lips and paused. trying to remember how many kids her daughter had. Finally, she got it straight. "Oh shoot, it's John." I was struggling not to laugh. I knew she had recognized him earlier and was just messing with him on purpose. From when John was born, he never came to visit Grandma. Whenever he did, he either fried chickens or raised a ruckus, crying about hating the old folks for their smell. Little did he know, he stank like a dead fish himself with his body odor. Since he didn't care for Grandma, she wasn't about to play nice. She also knew he'd bullied me before. "Why are you here? Sick of living in your big mansion? Came to breathe some of this fresh country air?" Grandma asked bluntly. "Didn't you gag from the smell of chicken and duck droppings as a kid? Don't tell me you're cured now." John, trying to ingratiate himself, said, "No, Grandma. I just missed you, so I came to see you." Reaching for the sieve in her hand, "Let me help you feed the chickens, Grandma." After feeding the chickens, he tried to sit down, but Grandma immediately reclined on her chair, clutching her back. "Oh, my back's killing me. But the laundry's not done." Reluctantly, John stood back up. "I'll do the laundry, Grandma." And so it went on. She had him doing all kinds of chores, washing clothes, cooking, chopping firewood, feeding pigs, dogs, you name it. By the time he finished, it was already dark. Grandma and I had long since finished dinner and were chilling on the porch. When John came out of the shower, the sight of an empty dinner table made him lose it. "Lily, why didn't you save me any food?" he yelled. Already used to his tantrums, I didn't even budge from the rocking chair. Casually, I replied, "There wasn't any for you. Just go home and eat." Just before he could start yelling again, he seemed to recall something and shot me a nasty look. I was confused, then saw him crouching before Grandma, putting on his best pitiful act. "Grandma, Sis is picking on me." "Seriously?" he tattled. Grandma didn't acknowledge him, and he couldn't keep up the act for long. "Grandma, you're so unfair. You saw her being mean to me." He didn't get to finish as he was interrupted by snoring. Grandma had fallen asleep. John stayed for 3 days, then couldn't handle Grandma's ways anymore, and left on the 4th. Grandma had seen it coming. As soon as he was gone, Mom called up fuming, "He's your grandson, your own flesh and blood. John just wanted to show some respect, and he's still a kid. Did you have to make it so hard on him? Did that little brat say something to you?" Grandma let out a cold laugh. What could she say? Maybe that you're up to no good, and shameless enough to send a kid to steal the property deed? Who does that? He's dumb as a post, thinking he wouldn't get caught during the day? After stealing my and your dad's entire legacy, do you really need to go after the roof over my head? It's not enough. Mom's voice on the other end of the line was wild, frantic. "David took off with all the money. The creditors are closing in, and the company's crashing down. If I didn't transfer John's school registration back, they threatened to use him against me. Mom, please, one last time, help me. Or do you want me dead?" David's the husband from overseas my mom married. So she was already on the brink of bankruptcy then. No wonder John's been moved back to his old school. There was a pause. I thought Grandma might fold, but then she said, "Abandoning your dad and me, and your only daughter. You should have seen this coming." For me, recalling my past isn't something I enjoy. It's like taking medicine. The time spent with Grandma was the sweet sugar coating, and everything else was just bitter. I remembered Grandma handed over the house to Mom, but instead of being thanked, she was shunted off to a nursing home. I wouldn't know what happened afterward. I had already passed away by then. Now at last, my heart was at peace. Grandma not caving means none of that will happen anymore. To make sure Mom stayed away, we packed up and moved, just 20 meters from school. "Once we get the relocation money, I'll get you a big house," Grandma said. "That'll make your mom and dad regret it forever." "Grandma, my eyes feel like they want to swim." "Silly child, if you want to cry then cry." I hugged Grandma tight, grateful for the second chance life has given me. I pledged to change everything for us with all my heart. I promised to live this life as beautifully, earnestly, and passionately as possible. As the competition drew closer, I got more intense with my studies. I'd catch Ken every day for solving problems, always going over everything. Ken understood me and patiently explained my mistakes over and over. Sometimes I'd get up too early, having studied till 3 or 4 a.m., and would conk out unexpectedly. When I'd wake up, I'd find a jacket tossed over me with a gentle tea scent. My classmates knew I was in crunch time, so they stopped bugging me. They used to ask me for help with problems, but now even during breaks they kept quiet, not wanting to sidetrack me. My homeroom teacher seemed pleased. Ever since Sunny joined our class, everyone's enthusiasm for studying has shot up, and our grades have improved a lot. John's been on leave for weeks, and there's been no sign of him. I guess he's probably hiding from debt. One day, I went to the office to drop off a survey, and I overheard our homeroom teacher gossiping with the other teachers. Hey, you all know Sunny, right? She's the top student in our grade. Her family preferred boys over girls, so she ran away to her grandma's. Guess what happened? Her mom went bankrupt. Oh really? I used to teach your class. Her brother's name is John, right? He's so dense, nothing like Sunny. I can't believe their family would favor him over her. It's like they've got a diamond, and they choose a glass bead instead. Don't tell anyone, the homeroom teacher whispered secretly. After his mom went bankrupt, she told him to ask his dad for money. Guess what happened? Did his dad go bankrupt too? The homeroom teacher shook his head and lowered his voice. When he went to his dad, he found him having dinner with his new stepmom and another son who's older than him. Wow. So yeah, he figured it out and flipped the table right there. His dad has a new son now and won't care about him anymore. They ganged up on him, and he ended up with broken ribs. He's still in the hospital. Wow. I don't feel sorry for John at all. His suffering now is nothing compared to what I went through. If I could, I'd wish they were even rougher on him. In November, Ken and I set off for a competition. Ken won first place in the National High School Olympics and got direct acceptance into college. I did okay, but didn't quite make the cut for automatic acceptance. The accompanying competition teacher and our homeroom teacher were both thrilled yet disappointed. The homeroom teacher sighed. Just missed it. This kid has such potential. Just needed a bit more luck. The competition teacher gave me a thumbs up. You've done great, girl. In such a short time, you've made it so far. Ken watched my expression carefully, hesitated, then handed me his medal. This is for you, don't be sad. At that moment, the icy prince didn't seem so cold anymore. He crouched in front of me, sincerity shining through his gentle eyes. With your talent, you can achieve anything you set your mind to. I'll be waiting for you. A gentle breeze blew, willows swayed, and spring arrived before I even realized it. I returned to my routine school life, still top of my class, teaching classmates, and pushing everyone forward. John came back to classes. He was all banged up, with a cast on his leg and bruises everywhere. The homeroom teacher subtly suggested we should be united and help each other out, but no one wanted to help John. He ended up paying people to push his wheelchair. I noticed he stopped wearing brand-name clothes and shoes. His backpack was now just an ordinary one. Though he could barely move, his malice towards me hadn't lessened one bit. Like spitting in my water bottle, or tossing my homework into the mop sink. He even tried to hire the class bullies to corner me after school. But when they heard my name, their eyes widened. Dude, are you crazy? She's the school's darling. You want me to mess with her? Just kick me out of school already. For 2 consecutive months, everyone progressed, while he slipped to the bottom of the class. On the weekend, my grandma came with bags full of snacks, food, and essentials to see me. John hid in the shadows, seething with jealousy. He cornered me near the dorm, eyes filled with venom. Happy now. My family's bankrupt, and my mom and I have to hide here to avoid creditors. I've sold all my stuff. My watch, all my Apple gadgets. What does that have to do with me? I was puzzled at why he was so mad. If you hadn't stopped Grandma from giving me the house, I'd have cleared the debts by now. He reckoned I was the one causing all his troubles, glaring at me, fists clenched. I've lost everything because of you. You owe me. Maybe half the compensation from selling the house. Turns out when you're too speechless, you just laugh. All your life, you got whatever you wanted from our parents. When I had something, you wanted it too. Even when our parents divorced, I didn't compete with you. You picked the wrong side, why blame me? I looked at my once cute little brother, now a stranger to me. You never blame yourself. Whenever you mess up, it's always thrown on me. But reality won't lie. All the smoking, drinking, and throwing money around. Now you're just living through what I experienced. If you can't handle this, I'll tell you, It's only gonna hurt more from here. I've said before, you'd face the consequences. I didn't want to waste my breath, so I sprinted back into the girls' dorm. John shouted, cursed, and stomped his feet, but I couldn't hear a thing. 2 weeks before the college entrance exam, an ugly scandal broke out in S-City. A man was caught cheating by his wife, and during a scuffle, she got burned, later dying from infection. The man fell down the stairs and ended up paralyzed, and supposedly, his son sent him to a mental hospital. When I found out the man was my dad, honestly, I wasn't surprised. Hearing about their miserable ends felt surreal, like roles and outcomes switched from a past life. You reap what you sow. Without hesitation, I requested leave to go to the mental hospital. In the cramped hospital room, I saw my dad. He was sitting in a wheelchair, paralyzed from the waist down. But somehow, half of his face was paralyzed too. His cheeks sagged and drool ran down the corner of his mouth. The door creaked as I opened it, and I walked up to him. His eyes slowly moved to look at me, and when he realized who I was, he got so excited he started making ah-ah sounds. Lily. His voice wheezed out, like a broken old fan, struggling to squeeze out a few words. Help John. I got it. You want me to bring John here? Yeah. Staring into his hopeful eyes, I said clearly, keep dreaming. My dad started to breathe rapidly, veins popping on his forehead. I coldly watched him, without a hint of sympathy. Are you thinking, if you'd known I'd be such a disappointment, you shouldn't have had me in the first place? I crouched down to look him in the eye, smiling. Don't worry, I'm doing great now. I've got a family who loves me, enough money in the bank, and a bunch of upbeat friends. Remember how you always said I was dumber than a pig? I scored 250 points higher than John in the last city exam, third in the whole city. Sorry I didn't turn out as you hoped. But hey, there's more disappointment to come. I gleefully added. Didn't you always say John is the heir of the family, to carry on your legacy? Let me tell you a secret. John has a boyfriend. They were already getting hotel rooms when he was in middle school. They begged me not to tell you, but I had to burst your fantasy. Not only does he not like girls, but he'll also never have kids. My dad looked like he fell into an icy pit. His old face twisted with pain. His hands trembled, and he was so shocked he suddenly fell from the wheelchair onto the floor. I watched him struggle coldly, throwing one last blow. By the way, did you know? The one outside isn't your biological son either. You love cheating so much, haven't you noticed he doesn't look like you at all? Watching him suffer, the sound of his emotional collapse echoed painfully clear in the empty room. His sobs were so loud in this barren space. Sweet music to my ears. I walked out of the room, stepping through that parallel universe door, and beckoned to the girl crying behind it. Don't cry, I got revenge for you. College entrance exams came as expected. When the phone rang urgently, I knew this battle was won. I got into Tsinghua University with the top score in the city, and even luckier, everyone in my class got into college. That night, fireworks lit up the sky, colorful displays brightened our small town, and I hugged Grandma tight under the moonlight. All those years of pain drowned in this grand celebration, washed away with my tears. Grandma, if I told you I've been to this world before, would you think I'm weird? Grandma gently patted my back, smiling like she was soothing a child. No, I wouldn't. Grandma knows everything. Slowly, I drifted to sleep, seeing myself from the previous life. Little me, the house that devours, angry parents, and a brother who lashes out. A home I could never enter. I ran, bashing my head bloodied in the dark. I cried to the sky, please, I just want a home of my own. Don't cry, don't cry. I stretched out my arms, holding that wounded girl. You'll have a wonderful grandma. You'll feed chickens together, sleep together, watch dramas and drink milk tea. She'll sing you to sleep. You'll make many friends at school, even get into the best university. You'll have so much love that the broken pieces will heal. Love will help you grow. And even walking through swamps, you'll bloom pure white flowers from the mud. So don't cry. From now on, you and Grandma have to be happy forever. Epilogue. Grandma. When Grandma was 60, her only granddaughter died. The elderly woman, with her hair all white, traveled miles, carrying a basket of home-raised eggs she'd saved up for 3 months. She said her granddaughter was going into senior year and studying hard, Needed eggs to stay strong. Outside the funeral home, the basket of eggs lay discarded on the ground, yellow and white egg mix pooling from the cracks, making a mess of the once spotless floor. But nobody blamed her for it. They watched silently as the old woman sat on the floor, staring dazedly at the portrait on the wall, not speaking, not crying, not moving at all, like a lifeless puppet. She tried to open the casket but was frantically stopped. "Grandma, you can't open it." She coughed up a huge mouthful of blood. Then her heart-wrenching cries burst out, cutting into everyone's hearts like a knife. She didn't understand. Wasn't everything fine just last month? How could it be over in a blink? She called the police, and they showed up with sirens wailing. "Ma'am, this is a family matter. We can mediate, but we can't file a report." "I'm sorry, take care." The snow that the girl wished for her whole life finally fell that winter. Pure white flakes blanketed the eaves. People in the South, who had never seen snow, poured into the streets, filling them with laughter and cheers. But that old courtyard had no more life left. And that's how it was. She lay in the rocking chair with the little box, deciding to end her life on her 60th birthday. Suddenly, a childlike voice spoke near her ear. Oh no, how could the target host die? How will I finish my task now?" She awoke with a start, looking around, but there was no one. The voice began to sob softly. "Who are you? Hey, you can hear me? I can't see you." The childlike voice said triumphantly. "Of course you can't see me. I'm not from this world. I'm a system from the main god space." It said the system chooses dying people as hosts. They parasite the host to gain energy, and the host gets a chance to live again, at the cost of losing 20 years of life. 10. Sadly, my host already kicked the bucket. Ugh. Such a hassle to find someone new. She heart started pounding. She jumped up. "Can I be your host?" The system was kinda taken aback. "You? But in the realm of our main god, we've never had a host your age. We usually pick the young ones. I mean, you might not even make it another 20 years. The system's voice trailed off. It had been learning about human emotions lately. Its seniors had warned it that humans don't like talking about lifespans. But before it could finish, she dropped to her knees. "Please let me be your host." She didn't know where this system was, so she just knelt and kowtowed toward the void. "Please, please." Her forehead hit the ground hard, once, twice, the third time, the fourth. The more she kowtowed, the more tears streamed down her face. Her voice started to shake. "I beg you, give me a chance. If this life's not enough, I'll trade the next life, and the one after for it." The system had never seen someone so eager to be a host. It quietly said, "It's really not possible. Even if I want to help you, the main god won't agree. Maybe you can wait, and I'll go ask the main god?" She no longer wanted to die. She tidied up her home, tuned the radio to her granddaughter's favorite pop station, and sat still on the recliner from sunrise to sunset. The sun rose and set again, and she remained there, unconcerned with time passing. Everyone around said she'd gone mad. 1 day, 2 days. A month, 2 months. She waited until the snow fell again. Remembering that the system said near death was required to be a host, she jumped into the river without hesitation. People on the shore noticed her. Some said it was over, some screamed for help, while others simply watched. Her body was sinking into the icy river, but inside she felt calm. "Time to pick up my granddaughter from school." Finally she heard a kid's voice, clear and shocked. Whoa, wait. Why so rushed?" The main god agreed. "I'm sending you back now." She opened her eyes. The familiar chandelier above told her she was back. Then a youthful voice came from downstairs. "Grandma." She threw off the covers, didn't even bother with shoes, and raced downstairs. Standing at the door was the granddaughter she missed dearly. "Sonny, my sonny." She clung to the doorframe, her eyes instantly reddening. "Grandma has waited for you so long." The village lights were on. The lost child had finally returned home. "So you're not taking back her lifespan?" "Yeah, I figured we're all family anyway. I took her dad's lifespan instead." "Don't ever do that again." "Okay. Teehee, I'll still dare next time." The end.